Video number 5 in our series of just little tips and tricks for setting up assessments. So what I'm going to do here is just run through some features on Word. So I'm just going to go back to the home page. Now, if you want to use a cover page, that's fine. I'm going to show you quickly how to put a cover page so it looks a little bit different. So first of all, I'm going to move this question that we prepared earlier onto the next page. So we're going to insert a page break, and that's now gone to the top. Now what that means is it doesn't matter what we add here, it's actually going to start at the top of the page. This won't be pushed down and you won't have to fix it up. So on our page on our front page, we're going to have our name. Whoops, it's gone in the wrong spot. Let's just take that out. Back up here. So name. I'll put Julie Edwards. We might have a subject, and we'll call it leadership. The date, just put today's date, 26th November 22. We might have a student number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that will do. Okay, so maybe that's all we need. Now, that on a front cover by itself doesn't look very interesting. So I'm just going to try and move this around. And as you can see, I'm a bit limited. I can move up and down the page. So let's use another feature. And what I'm going to do here is use a text box, draw a text box. Oops, sorry, I didn't do it. Draw a text box and enter that information in. This does not want to cooperate with me. I'm just going to pop that back where it belongs. Insert page break again. And I'm going to drag this part up onto my front cover. Just change that a little bit. Now, I also suggest people to use Canva and add a PNG if you want, but this is just a really basic front cover. So I'm just going to make it a little bit different. So I'll go 1.5. I also want it to line up so it looks a bit tidier. So just put some tabs on there. Move that across. Move that across. Space that out. So I'm just tidying it up a little bit, not much, just to center it a bit more. So put it about there. Have a look at our document. See where it sits on the page. Okay. And I just wanted that. Now, I would make it look a lot nicer. I would use Canva and put some nicer features, some images and color, but just for the purpose of this, it will do. It's just to show you how to move things around. So if you do want to do that, you can move it and it sets. Now, what I don't want is I don't want to have headers and footers on this page. So I'm going to go into my headers and footers. I'm going to use the next page and I'm going to put my subject, my name. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy that information, be a bit easier. So let's just make this a bit larger. Okay, so I want to also separate it so it looks different from the other line. So I'm going to just go here, put another space, and I'm going to put a line in. So over here, I can use this little box. And I'm going to put a top border on. So that's just putting a line and a space between my questions. So when it comes out of the header, there will always be a space and it just gives a little bit better presentation. I'm not going to double space this because I don't want it double space. It takes up too much space. And I also want to insert some page numbers. So while I'm here, I'll put some page numbers in. So I'll use this feature here, insert, and I'm just going to do the very plain format of a page number. Insert page number. I want it on the right hand side and I don't want it on the first page. So it starts with 1. So that's not showing and the page is different. Okay, so the other one you can do is you can actually click your header and footer, go in here and make sure that this is ticked. If it's not got a tick here, what it will do, I'll just untick it so you can see, it will give the front cover a page number and a header, and I don't want that, so I'm going to click different page number and now it's changed. Okay, so we're going to go back into the main body, and I'm going to move question 1 to the next page again. Just insert page break, and this time I'm going to put a table of contents in. So I'm going to insert over here the table of contents. I go Home, References, Table of Contents, Insert, and you can see it's put the question 1 and the references in. Now the way I'm going to change this, I'm going to make it look a little bit more like an essay. So I'm going to have, imagine we've been asked to do an introduction, and we're talking about different aspects. So we might say our next topic is going to be creativity in leadership. Imagine that's one of our topics, and we're going to make another topic, research methods, and we'll do another topic that could be corporate social responsibility. And I'm just going to put a conclusion. Okay, so I'm going to turn these into headings. So we're going to put over here, back in our home section, put heading 1, research methods, heading 1, corporate responsibility, heading 1, and a conclusion, heading 1. Now in my research methods, I might want to talk about qualitative research, and I might want to talk about quantitative research as subheadings. And I'm going to make these heading number 2 and heading number 2. Okay, so we've got some headings, etc. All right, let's go back up into here to our table of contents. So we click here, table of contents, update table, and it's done. So it's now, you can see we've got subheadings, main headings. If we don't like the look, if we don't like the look of this table in terms of the style, we can actually change the font. So we might make it Calibra Light if we want. It's okay, I prefer it just a little bit lighter. Now with this, I might decide that I want, which I should do, my reference list should be on a separate page. So I insert pages, page break, and that's now showing up on a separate page as it should be. Okay, and we go insert in our contents, table of contents, update table, update entire table, just in case you've adjusted a spelling or something like that in one of the headings, and we click OK. So now when we scroll down, we've got that's on the right page, should be on page 4. Okay, and that's right. The other thing I want to do is change my format here, and I'm going to change it to 1.5 spacing. I'm also going to change it like this, and I want to do that for each of my paragraphs. There's a couple of ways you can do that. I'm doing this if you forgot. You just want to quickly do it at the end. Okay, we go like that. We space 1.5. So I'm just using some of these fields. And you can see it's starting to tidy that up a little bit more. That's all nice and tidy, and so on. Okay, so they're just simple things. If you're going to insert a figure, so say you had a diagram of something that you wanted to pop in here, I'm just going to see if I can find one that I can include. So I'm just going to very quickly take a screenshot or something, and I'm just going to drag this in to here. It's obviously not where it's supposed to go. I'm just popping in to show you something. So we go creativity and leadership, and I want to put a title. I go to references and insert caption. It's got a figure, it knows it's a figure here, so I put figure, and I'm giving it a title. It's leadership styles. Okay, and I'm going to click on the, now what that does, oh, and I should put the source, by the way. The source needs to go in. Now there is a way of doing this using the APA style. I'm actually keeping this a little bit generic, but you should follow the APA style. You need to put the source, and it should have the author and the year and the page. And if you're using the APA 7 style, see the APA 7 style for how to present this. Okay, but all I'm trying to show you is this at the moment. So figure 1 leadership styles. Now up here, I want a list of figures. So I put list of figures, and I'm going to make that a heading as well. So I go into my home page, make it a heading, and then underneath it, I'm actually going to go back to where it said references, insert table of figures, saying that, click OK. And now I've got a list of figures that it's creating. And if I put another figure in, say I decided I wanted another figure here, or a table. I'm using a table, but I really wanted a figure. Let's see if I can find a diagram quickly that I can use. Okay, for the sake of this, I'm just going to copy this same diagram. In fact, what I might do is I'll just copy this diagram using Smart Art. I'm going to insert using Smart Art. I'm going to create this diagram, and I want a relationship, so I think I'll use that one. And I'm just going to copy text. So we've got innovate. So this is if I wanted to create it myself, but I still have to show the source because I actually got it from somewhere else. Innovative work, behavior. Okay, and in here I'm going to write transformational. Transformational. I'm going to write transactional. Transactional, and then below I will write laissez-faire, the way it's spelled in there where my source was. Okay, so that bit's done, but I don't like the color, so I'm going to change it, make it a bit more colorful, shrink it down a bit because it's too big. I'm going to change the look, play with some of these features. That I like that one better. I'm going to go back to home, go to center it on the page, so I want it centered. Sometimes I can actually move it to the center, sometimes I can't. But I wanted it centered, it doesn't want to cooperate, but that's okay. For the purpose of this, I'm only showing you how to do this part. Now I'm going to call this one figure 1 because I want it to be figure 1, but look what happens here. We go insert caption, and it automatically tells me it's figure 1. So again, I'm just going to call it innovative work behavior. I'm just going to call it point 1. Obviously, I wouldn't do that normally, but I'm just doing this to show you how to insert it. Okay, so it's done, that's figure 1. And what it has done is it's made this one figure 2. And again, you would put your source in, just like this. So just to remind, I'm just going to put that here, because even though I designed it, it was based on something else. So follow the APA style for that. I'll show that on another video. I'm going to update this. Whoops, sorry. Go back. I'm going to update my list of figures. I should just be able to click next to it and update the entire table. And now I've got my list of figures, but one thing I would like to do with this is change the layout just a fraction. So I'm going to make it 1.15 for this. No, I think I'll go 1.5 again. There we go. So automatically I'm getting a list of figures, and you can do the same with the list of tables. You can write list of tables, and if you insert this and you want to change it to a table, all you do is when you're inserting your caption in references here, you can actually change it to table and it will adjust it, and then you can start creating a list of tables. I'll just change that back. Okay, just take that out. Sorry, I don't want that. So basically that's how we set it up, and it's a document that's set up without headings on the front cover. We've got our information that we need. We've got a table of contents, list of figures, we can have a list of tables. We've got introduction headings, we're using headings, we're making sure that the figure is with the actual diagram. Make sure we've presented the source correctly. We've got our next heading. We would also have, you wouldn't just have a figure, you would have information in there, type it in, okay? But I'm just really showing you how to use some of the features. Subheadings, our conclusion, and our list of references. Hope that helped. I am creating other videos that go into more tools using smart art, adding figures, tables, creating, etc. But I'll do those on a later date. But for now, that should help you get sorted with this. Okay. Thank you for listening.